When panic takes over, everything feels like it's spiraling out of control. It's as if your mind is racing, and no matter how hard you try, you can't catch up. That's when the most important thing to remember is this: the solution is not in trying harder, it's in finding calm. You may believe that in order to fix things, you need to act quickly, fix the problem, and keep pushing. But the truth is, in the midst of panic, nothing gets solved. Your mind becomes so cluttered that you miss the solutions staring you right in the face. It's not about running faster. It's about slowing down and breathing deeply, which allows the answers to come to you effortlessly. I want you to take a moment right now to breathe in deeply with me. Feel the air fill your lungs, and as you breathe out, let go of any tension, any panic, any racing thoughts. Let them go. Just for now, breathe deeply and let the answers come, because when you find calm, that's when things start to fall into place. And when panic takes over, it's as if you've suddenly lost the ability to see clearly. You know you need to do something, but your mind is overwhelmed with worry, fear, and that constant restless feeling that something is wrong. The more you focus on the problem, the bigger it becomes, and the further away the solutions feel. But here's the thing: if you stay in that state of panic, nothing will change. Your thoughts will only continue to race, and your mind will keep throwing up new worries, new what-ifs that lead you in circles. You won't be able to find any clear path forward because panic shuts down your ability to think clearly. If you stay in panic, you won't see the answers that are already there waiting for you. It's like trying to look for a needle in a haystack while the haystack is spinning out of control. The more you push and force, the more the needle hides and the further it gets from your grasp. But if you can find calm, just a little bit of calm, everything changes. When you calm your mind, you stop pushing against the current. You stop swimming upstream, fighting the natural flow of life. Instead, you start floating with the current. The water feels easier. The answers feel clearer. The problem doesn't seem so big anymore. The more you can let go of the panic, the more space you make for the right solution to come to you. It's about trusting that in the moment, everything is exactly as it should be, even if it doesn't feel like it. The answers will come, but you have to make space for them by slowing down and stepping into a place of peace. The panic is not going to give you the answer, but calm will. It always will. Now, I want you to do something simple, something powerful. We're going to pause. Right now, we're going to reset your energy, your thoughts, and your body, just by breathing. It may sound simple, but this simple act has the power to shift your entire mindset. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Feel the weight of your body against the surface beneath you. Feel your feet on the ground. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel the air fill your lungs. Hold it there for just a moment, and then slowly breathe out through your mouth. Let go of any tension as you breathe out. Notice how that feels. Just breathing. It's not about controlling your breath, but about connecting with it. When you take a deep breath, your body and mind receive an immediate signal that it's okay to pause, to relax, and to trust that this moment is enough. Let's do that again. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with air. Hold for a second, and now breathe out slowly, releasing any tightness or stress in your body. With every breath out, you're making space for calm. You're inviting peace into your body and mind. Now, with your hand gently placed over your heart, I want you to say quietly to yourself, I am safe right now. Say it slowly. Feel the weight of those words. I am safe right now. Let those words sink in. As you breathe deeply, you are not just calming your body, you are also calming your mind. You are letting go of the noise and allowing the present moment to take center stage. Right here, right now, is the only moment you need. Everything else can wait. In this moment, you are creating space. Space for solutions, space for peace, and space for clarity. You can feel it already, can't you? The weight is lifting, even just a little. The mind is starting to slow down, and the panic that seemed so overwhelming just moments ago begins to fade. You're coming back to yourself. Every time you feel panic rising again, remember this. Take a breath, place your hand on your heart, and remind yourself, I am safe right now. It's a simple practice, but one that will give you access to calm, and calm is where the answers lie. Panic often comes from one hidden habit, fighting what is happening right now. The mind looks at the moment and says, this should not be happening. And that one thought can light a fire inside you. Because the moment you decide the present is wrong, your body tightens, your breath gets smaller. Your thoughts start pushing and pulling. You try to force the situation to change, even if it cannot change instantly. And the more you fight, the more trapped you feel. It's important to understand this clearly. Fighting the moment does not fix the moment. It only adds pain to it. The situation may already be hard, but resistance makes it heavier. Resistance is like carrying a box and then choosing to carry a second box on top of it that says, I can't handle this, or this is unfair, or this must be solved right now. The first box might be real life. The second box is the pressure you add, and that extra pressure is what turns stress into panic. The present moment is not your enemy. The present moment is simply what is. It is the truth of what is happening right now, even if you don't like it, even if you don't understand it, even if you wish it were different. When you stop fighting it, you don't become weak. You become steady, and steadiness is power. Steadiness is the calm ground where you can stand and breathe and think. It's the place where you can finally ask, what is the next small step, instead of shouting inside, this must stop. Think about how panic feels. It feels like rushing through a door that isn't open yet. It feels like pulling on something that won't move. It feels like trying to control water with your hands. Panic is the energy of struggle. And struggle says, I must fix this now or I am not safe. But many problems do not need you to fix them in 1 second. They need you to approach them in a clear way. They need you to respond, not react. So here is a simple truth you can use right away. You do not have to like the moment to stop fighting it. Acceptance does not mean you approve. Acceptance means you stop arguing with reality. It means you stop spending your energy on why is this happening, and start using your energy for what can I do next. When you accept the moment, you stop feeding panic. Because panic needs resistance to grow. It needs tightness. It needs the feeling of pushing against life. Try this gently without forcing it. In your mind, whisper, this is what is right now, not forever, not for your whole life, just right now. This is what is right now. Those words are like a soft hand on the shoulder of your nervous system. They calm the inner alarm. They tell your mind, we can stop running for a second. And when the mind stops running, it can finally see what is true. Often the fear is not even the situation itself. The fear is the story the mind tells about the situation. The mind says, this will ruin everything. The mind says, I will never recover. The mind says, I will not be okay. And then the body reacts to those thoughts as if they are facts. But a thought is not a fact. A feeling is not a forecast. The moment you stop fighting the moment, you start separating reality from fear. You begin to see what is actually happening versus what you imagine might happen. If you want a practical way to do this, use a simple 3-part reset inside your mind. First, name the moment. This is a hard moment. Second, allow your breath. I can breathe through this. Third, soften your grip. I can take one step at a time. That's it. Not big promises, not perfect confidence, just a gentle return to the present. Because calm does not come from solving the entire future. Calm comes from coming back to now. And here is the surprising part. The moment you stop fighting the present becomes easier to carry. Not because the problem magically disappears in 1 second, but because your body stops bracing. When you stop bracing, you feel more space inside. When you feel more space inside, you have more choices. You can think. You can decide. You can ask for help. You can rest for a moment. You can do what you need to do without the extra panic. So if you feel panic rising, try this first. Stop the inner argument with life. Stop the battle in your mind. Choose one calm sentence and let it be enough for right now. I accept this moment as it is. Again, acceptance is not giving up. It is grounding yourself. It is stepping onto solid ground. And from solid ground, you can move forward with more peace and more strength. You may notice that your mind tries to fight acceptance. It might say, if I accept this, it means I will stay stuck. But that is not true. The opposite is often true. Resistance keeps you stuck. Acceptance lets you move. It opens the door to wise action. It allows your nervous system to settle, which makes it easier to find the solution that was always there, waiting behind the noise. So let this be your practice for this section. When panic comes, don't wrestle with life. Don't demand the moment be different before you allow yourself to breathe. Breathe now. Soften now. Accept now. And then, from that calmer place, you'll be able to do what you need to do. Panic has a narrow lens. It makes everything feel small and tight and urgent. It pulls your attention into one point, the fear, and when you are trapped in that narrow lens, it feels like you must solve everything immediately, or else everything falls apart. But calm comes when you remember a bigger view. A bigger view does not mean you ignore the problem. It means you stop believing the problem is the whole story. There is a part of life that the mind cannot always see in the moment. You can't always see why something is happening. You can't always see what is being protected, what is being guided, what is being arranged. You only see what is right in front of you, and sometimes what's right in front of you looks messy or confusing. That is why panic feels so strong. It says, if I can't see the way, it means there is no way. But not seeing is not the same as there being nothing. Think of it like standing too close to a painting. If your face is right up against it, you might see only one dark color, one rough stroke, one confusing patch. You might think, this is ugly, this doesn't make sense. But if you step back, you see the full image, you see the balance, you see the meaning, you see that the dark color was needed to create depth. The same can be true in your life. When you are too close to fear, you can't see the whole design. Trusting the bigger view is a gentle choice. It is saying, I may not understand everything right now, but I believe there is meaning beyond what I can see. It is saying, I don't have to know every answer today. It is saying, I can take one step, and the next step will show itself. This is important because panic tries to demand full control. Panic wants a full map. Panic wants certainty. Panic wants a guarantee. But life often gives you something different. Guidance one step at a time. The mind says, show me the whole path. Life says, take this step first. And when you take that step from calmness, the next step becomes clearer. So instead of trying to force certainty, try practicing trust in small ways. Trust does not have to be huge. You don't have to say, "I trust everything perfectly." If that feels too big, start smaller. Say, "I trust I can handle the next 10 minutes." Say, "I trust that I can breathe and think again." Say, "I trust that help exists." Those are real forms of trust. They create space inside you. They loosen the tight knot of panic. A bigger view also reminds you of something else. You have been carried through difficult moments before. Even if it didn't feel like it at the time, you made it through. You found your way. You found support. You learned something. You grew stronger. You discovered a new part of yourself. Panic forgets your history of survival. Panic speaks as if this moment is the final moment, but it isn't. It is one moment in a long life, and you are more capable than panic says you are. Now, trusting the bigger view doesn't mean you sit and do nothing. It means you respond from peace instead of fear. It means you ask better questions. Fear asks, "What if everything goes wrong?" Peace asks, "What is the next wise step?" Fear asks, "How do I control every outcome?" Peace asks, "How do I support myself right now?" Fear asks, "Why is this happening to me?" Peace asks, "What is this asking me to learn or change?" When you shift your questions, your life shifts with them, because your mind begins to look for solutions instead of threats. Your body begins to relax instead of brace. Your heart begins to open instead of close. And that openness is powerful. It is like opening a window in a stuffy room. Fresh air enters, light enters. The room does not feel so tight anymore. That is what trust does. It opens something in you. So here is a simple line to anchor this section. I trust the bigger picture, even when I can't see it. Say it slowly in your mind. Let it settle. It doesn't have to be perfect belief. It just has to be a gentle leaning toward peace. Because every time you choose that line, you loosen the grip of panic. And then bring it back to something very practical. You don't need to solve your whole life today. You don't need to make 10 perfect choices. You only need to take one calm step, one phone call, one break, one glass of water, one honest conversation, one moment of rest, one small action. That is how calm becomes real. That is how trust becomes real. It becomes real through small steps taken from a calmer place. When you trust the bigger view, you stop treating uncertainty like danger. You start treating it like a normal part of life. You stop demanding that life prove itself to you before you relax. You relax first, and then life becomes easier to hear. Because solutions often arrive quietly. They don't arrive through panic, they arrive through calm. So if you feel overwhelmed, step back in your mind. Step back from the picture. Remind yourself, there is more happening than I can see. Remind yourself, I am not alone in this. Remind yourself, I can take one step. That's the bigger view. It's not a magic trick. It's a calmer way to hold your life. And from that calmer holding, clarity begins to rise. One of the fastest ways panic grows is through this thought. It should have happened by now. Panic says you are behind. Panic says you missed your chance. Panic says time is running out. And when you believe that, you start pushing. You start rushing. You start forcing. You start trying to control every small detail because you're afraid life won't deliver what you need. But there's a deeper truth that can bring you back to peace. Timing is not always delay. Sometimes timing is protection. There are seasons in life. Some seasons are for action. Some seasons are for rest. Some seasons are for healing, some seasons are for learning, and panic often comes when you demand that one season act like another. It's like trying to force a flower to bloom in one day. The flower can't do it. And if you pull at it, you don't help it bloom, you only harm it. Life works in a similar way. Some things are growing beneath the surface long before you see them. This is where divine timing becomes a calm place to stand. Divine timing means that life has an order and a rhythm, even when you don't understand it. It means that what is meant for you is not lost because it didn't arrive on your schedule. It means that a delay does not mean a denial. It means that not yet can be a gift, not a punishment. Think about how many times you wanted something so badly and later you realized you were grateful it did not happen the way you wanted at the time. Maybe you were saved from something that would have hurt you. Maybe you were guided to something better. Maybe you needed to grow first so you could hold it with more peace. Maybe the timing needed to shift so the right pieces could come together. You could not see that at the time, but later you saw it clearly. That is the pattern of divine timing. It makes sense later, even when it feels confusing now. Panic hates waiting. It interprets waiting as danger. It thinks, if it's not happening right now, it will never happen. But waiting can be a space where you become ready. Waiting can be the place where your strength builds. Waiting can be the place where you learn patience, trust, and self-support. Waiting can be the place where life arranges the right connections and the right openings. Many things are moving even when you cannot see them. So if you are in a slow season, try this reframe. This is not stopping. This is preparing. Let those words be gentle. You don't have to force yourself to believe it with all your heart. Just allow the idea to soften you, because panic makes you push in the wrong direction. Calm helps you move in the right direction. Divine timing also helps you release the pressure of comparing your life to others. Comparison creates panic because it makes you feel late. It makes you feel like you should be somewhere else. But your life is not meant to be lived on someone else's clock. Your path is your path. Your lessons are your lessons. Your growth is your growth. When you accept that, you stop rushing to prove something. You start building something real. There is also another hidden gift of timing. It can save you from receiving something before you are ready. Sometimes you think you want the outcome, but you may not be ready for what comes with it. You may not be ready for the responsibility, the change, the attention, the commitment, the new level of self-trust. You might be asking life for something that will stretch you, and life may be saying yes, but first let's build your foundation. That is love, that is care, that is not rejection. So in moments when you feel impatient, instead of asking, why is this taking so long, try asking a calmer question. What is this season building in me? That question changes everything. It turns waiting into meaning. It turns frustration into growth. It turns panic into patience. And patience, when it's real, is not tense waiting. It's peaceful waiting. It's that quiet feeling that says, I may not see it yet, but it is on its way. Peaceful waiting is like sitting by a window on a rainy day, knowing the sun will return. You don't fight the rain, you don't scream at the sky, you let the rain pass, and you trust the season will change. That is divine timing. Here's a simple line to use as your anchor. I trust the timing of my life. Say it slowly. Feel what it does to your body. Even saying it once can soften the pressure in your chest. And then add something even simpler. What belongs to me will find me. This is not about doing nothing. This is about removing panic from your actions. It's about moving with trust instead of fear. When you move with trust, you make better choices. You choose calmer steps. You choose healthier boundaries. You choose clear thinking. And that leads you to solutions faster than panic ever could. Because panic makes you frantic. Trust makes you focused. Panic makes you scatter. Trust makes you steady. So if you feel behind, pause and challenge that story gently. Am I truly behind, or am I simply in a season of becoming? Is life late, or is life aligning? Am I being punished, or am I being prepared? Those questions bring you back to a bigger view. They remind you that life has rhythm. They remind you that you are not forgotten. They remind you that what is meant for you is still possible. And if the mind keeps trying to rush you, return to one calm truth. You only need to handle today, not the whole future, not every outcome, just today. Take the next right step. Breathe, stay present, stay open, and keep trusting that timing is working with you, not against you. Because when you believe timing can support you, you stop fighting time. You stop racing the clock. You stop living as if you're running out of life. You start living as if life is carrying you. And that shift alone can calm panic quickly and bring solutions closer than you expect. There is a hidden reason panic feels so loud. It makes you hold on tighter. It makes you grip the situation with your mind and body as if holding harder will make you safer. But tight grip does not create safety. Tight grip creates tension, and tension blocks the very thing you want most right now, a clear solution. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you give up. Letting go means you stop trying to control what you cannot control. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to carry alone. It means you loosen your grip enough to breathe, enough to think, enough to hear guidance again. Panic often whispers, if I don't control every detail, something bad will happen. But life is not asking you to control every detail. Life is asking you to trust step by step. Because control is heavy. Control says, it's all on me. Trust says, I can do my part and allow the rest. That shift is not small. It changes your whole inner world. It changes your body. It changes the way you see your options. Think about what happens when your hands are full. If your hands are full of worry, fear, and pressure, how can you receive anything new? You cannot. Your hands are already full. That is why letting go matters. It makes space. And space is where help can enter. Space is where calm can settle. Space is where the next right idea can rise. Many people think they will feel calm only after the problem is solved. But often the truth is the other way around. You find calm first, and calm helps you solve the problem. Calm brings you back to clear thinking. Calm brings you back to patience. Calm brings you back to wise action instead of rushed reaction. Letting go can be very simple. It can be one sentence repeated slowly. It can be one breath where you stop pushing. It can be one moment where you say, I do not need to carry this alone, because panic makes you feel alone. It makes you feel like the whole world is on your shoulders, but you are supported in ways you may not see yet. Help can come through a person, a message, a new idea, a sudden calm feeling, or a simple next step. Letting go is how you open the door to that help. So if you feel the pressure building, try a gentle practice. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Take a slow breath and whisper inside, I release the need to control. Then whisper, I allow life to support me. You don't have to force belief. Just speak it softly and let your body hear it. Your nervous system listens to your words. It listens to your tone. It listens to your breath. When you soften, it begins to soften too. Letting go is also an act of trust with time. Panic says, now, now, now. Trust says, one step at a time. Panic says, what if it doesn't work? Trust says, I will handle what comes. Panic says, I must know everything. Trust says, I can learn as I go. That is what letting go truly is. It is choosing trust over fear again and again in small ways that build a bigger peace. And here is the sweetest part. The moment you loosen your grip, you often feel a tiny shift. The chest feels a little less tight. The breath feels a little deeper. The mind feels a little quieter. It may not be perfect, but it is enough, because even a small calm can bring a new thought. Even a small calm can bring a clear choice. Even a small calm can bring a solution closer. So let go, not because you don't care, but because you care enough to stop hurting yourself with pressure. Let go because you deserve peace while you move through life. Let go because you want to see clearly again. Let go because you want to receive the help that is already trying to reach you. Now, the mind needs more than ideas. Sometimes it needs an experience. It needs to feel what surrender feels like, not just think about it. That is why this gentle inner journey can be so powerful. It helps you move the fear out of the body. It helps you turn stress into release. It helps you remember calm in a real way. Close your eyes if you can, or simply soften your gaze. Let the breath slow down. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Notice the air entering and leaving your body. Nothing needs to be perfect. Just be present with your breath for a moment, as if your breath is a quiet friend helping you come home. Now imagine you are standing in a safe place, a place that feels peaceful and calm. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple. It can be a place in nature or a place in your mind that feels warm, gentle, and quiet. In this place, you feel safe enough to let go. In your hands, imagine you are holding a few heavy stones. You can feel the weight of them. They are not just stones. Each one represents something you have been carrying inside. Maybe one stone is worry about the future. Maybe one stone is fear of making the wrong choice. Maybe one stone is the pressure to fix everything at once. Maybe one stone is the feeling that you must do it all alone. Take a moment to notice the stones. Notice how heavy they feel. Notice how your hands feel holding them. Notice what it feels like in your chest and shoulders to carry this weight. And without judging yourself, simply recognize, I have been carrying a lot. Let that truth be gentle. Let it be honest. Let it be kind. Now notice that in your safe place, there is something that can hold what you have been holding. Something that can take the weight from your hands. Something that can carry it with love, without struggle. Imagine that this place has a calm, healing energy, an energy that is bigger than your worry, an energy that is steady and kind. One by one, begin to release the stones. You don't have to rush. Start with one stone that feels ready to go. In your mind, lift it gently and let it go. Release it. Watch it leave your hands. Notice how your hands feel when that one stone is gone. Notice if your breath becomes a little easier. Notice if your shoulders soften even a little. Now release the next stone. Let it go slowly. There is no force here. This is not a fight. This is a choice to stop carrying what is crushing you, a choice to trust that you can put down what has been too heavy. Release another stone and another. With each release, feel the hands becoming lighter. Feel the chest opening. Feel the breath moving more freely. Feel the body learning that it is safe to relax. If the mind tries to grab the stones again, that's okay. That is just a habit. Gently remind yourself, I am allowed to let go. Then return to the release. Return to the soft surrender. Return to the calm. Now imagine your hands are empty. Imagine you are standing there with open palms, open hands, soft hands, hands that are no longer clenched. Feel the difference. Open hands can receive. Open hands can rest. Open hands can trust. Take a slow breath and whisper inside, I release what I cannot control. Then whisper, I trust life to guide me. and notice what happens inside you when you say those words. Notice the quiet space that begins to form. Notice how that space feels like relief. Now stay with this feeling for a moment. You do not have to solve your whole life right now. You do not have to answer every question right now. You only have to be here with open hands and a softer heart. In this space, calm begins to grow naturally. When you are ready, bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the air moving in and out. Feel your body where it is. Carry this feeling of open hands with you, because the goal is not to escape your life. The goal is to bring this calm into your life. The goal is to remember that you can put down the heavy stones again and again whenever panic tries to return. There is a reason calm helps you find solutions fast. Calm is not just a nice feeling. Calm is a clear state. It is a state where your mind can focus. It is a state where your heart can listen. It is a state where you can notice what you could not notice before. Panic scrambles your thinking. It makes you jump from thought to thought. It makes you guess. It makes you rush. It makes you miss simple details. It makes you forget what you already know. It makes you doubt yourself. And when you doubt yourself, you become even more stressed. That is why panic feels like a trap. It feeds itself. Calm breaks that cycle. Calm says pause. Calm says breathe. Calm says let's look again. And when you look again from calm, you often see something new. Maybe you see the problem is not as big as your mind made it. Maybe you see you have more options than you thought. Maybe you see one small action that can change the whole situation. This is also where a spiritual truth becomes very practical. What you feel inside shapes what you notice outside. When you are panicked, you notice danger. When you are calm, you notice possibility. When you are panicked, you notice what could go wrong. When you are calm, you notice what could go right. That doesn't mean you pretend everything is perfect. It means you stop filtering life through fear. Calm also changes how you communicate. When you are calm, you speak more clearly, you ask better questions, you listen better, you choose better words, and that can change your results quickly. A calm conversation can open a door, a calm request can bring support, a calm decision can prevent mistakes that panic would make. Sometimes solutions come through people, but panic can push people away. Panic can make you sound harsh, rushed, or desperate. Calm can invite people in. Calm can make others feel safe with you. Calm can make support more available. And even if the solution does not come through another person, calm can still help you hear your own inner wisdom. There is a quiet voice inside you that knows things. It knows what feels right. It knows what step is wise. But panic is loud. Panic talks over that quiet voice. Calm turns the volume down on fear so you can hear what is true again. Think of it like a radio. If there is static, the music sounds broken. Panic is like static. Calm is like tuning the station. When you tune the station, the message comes through clearly. The clarity was always there. It was just blocked by noise. This is why calm can bring solutions fast. Not because it forces the solution, but because it removes what blocks the solution. It clears the path. It clears the mind. It clears your energy. And then what is meant to reach you can reach you more easily. You can use this truth in a simple way. When you feel panic, don't demand an answer right away. First, demand calm. Calm is your first goal. Calm is your first step. Calm is your strongest tool. Because once you return to calm, answers often show up in natural ways. A thought comes. A memory comes. A helpful idea comes. A clear next step becomes obvious. So choose calm on purpose. Choose it like you choose water when you're thirsty. Choose it like you choose rest when you're tired. It is not a luxury, it is a need, and it is available to you right now through breath, through softness, through trust. Say this quietly inside. When I am calm, I see clearly. Then say, solutions come to me when I relax. Let those words land. Let your body feel them, because the body learns through repetition. The mind learns through repetition, and calm becomes easier each time you practice it. Calm does not mean nothing will ever be hard. Calm means you will face what is hard with a clearer mind and a steadier heart. And that is how life becomes manageable again. That is how solutions become possible again. Now it's time to bring all of this into one simple practice you can return to again and again. Because panic can return, life can feel heavy, the mind can rush, but you can have a steady routine that brings you back quickly, not by force, not by pressure, but by gentle repetition. First, pause. Even if you can only pause for 10 seconds, pause. That pause is power. The pause breaks the panic story. The pause tells your nervous system, we are not running right now. The pause gives you back choice. Second, breathe slowly. One deep breath in, one slow breath out. Let the out breath be a little longer than the in breath if you can. Long exhale tells the body, it's safe. Your body does not need big speeches. It needs signals, and the breath is the strongest signal you have. Third, soften your body, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, relax your hands. Even if your mind is still busy, relaxing the body helps calm the mind. The body and mind speak to each other all day. When the body softens, the mind begins to follow. Fourth, accept the moment. Whisper, this is what is right now. Not forever, just right now. This one sentence can remove so much inner fighting, and when the fight stops, energy returns. Fifth, choose one small step, not 10 steps, not the whole future, one step. Ask yourself, what is the next right thing I can do? Then do it slowly and clearly. If you can't do it yet, rest for a moment and breathe again. The next step will come. And now, use affirmations that are simple and strong. Not because you are trying to convince life to obey you, but because you are teaching your mind and body to return to peace. Say them softly, as if speaking to your own heart. Say, I am safe right now. Let it land. Let your body hear it. Let your breath support it. Say, I relax and trust life. Feel how these words loosen the pressure inside. Say, everything is working out for me. You don't have to see how yet. You are planting a calm belief instead of a fearful belief. Say, solutions come to me easily. Let this be your new expectation. Panic expects struggle. Calm expects clarity. If you want to keep it even simpler, choose just one line and repeat it slowly with each breath out. One line can be enough to steady you. One line can be enough to stop the spiral. One line can be enough to return you to yourself. As you practice this, remember something important. Calm is not something you earn when you get everything right. Calm is something you allow when you stop fighting yourself. Calm is your natural state underneath the fear. Calm is what remains when you stop feeding panic with rushing thoughts. You may still have problems to solve. You may still have choices to make. But you do not have to make them in panic. You do not have to make them in fear. You can make them in calm. And that is where your power is. So keep it simple. Pause, breathe, soften, accept. Take one step, repeat the affirmations, and each time you do this, you build trust inside yourself. You show yourself, I can handle this. You show yourself, I can return to peace. You show yourself, I can find my way. Panic may feel urgent, but calm is more powerful. Panic makes the mind noisy. Calm makes the mind clear. Panic makes you grip and rush. Calm makes you breathe and see. And when you see, you find the next step. When you find the next step, you find the path. When you walk the path one step at a time, solutions appear more quickly than fear ever imagined. The goal is not to control everything. The goal is to support yourself through everything. The goal is not to force life to move faster. The goal is to move through life with trust, patience, and a steady heart. Because when you are calm, you are open. And when you are open, help can reach you. Ideas can reach you. Guidance can reach you. Peace can reach you. Return to your breath whenever you need to. Return to open hands whenever you need to. Return to simple words whenever you need to. I am safe right now. I relax and trust life. Everything is working out for me. Solutions come to me easily. These are not just words. They are choices. They are directions. They guide you out of panic and back into peace. And when peace becomes your habit, answers become easier to find because you are no longer trying to solve life from the storm. You are solving life from steady ground.